What's going on? Who is here? Who's here? Let me see these peeps. Holy moly, you guys blowing it up already. Thomas Dubois last first. Big O, Kitties, Jasper, Spencer, the one. I love it. Vince, you're a little late, my friend. Marcelo, Dirty. Paulie V, what's up? Canuck, Joel, Dave, Andrew, Ryan, Robert, Heidi, Vin, man, Jack Hamilton. Look at all these great people. Rosie's in the house. Ian Tucker. Yeah, today was crazy, huh? We're going to talk about it. What's up? Robert, Sway, Girth, Old Finds, AK, Kira. Welcome. Yeah, you're welcome, Fire. Thanks for showing up. If I'm going to do a live, I at least hope you guys show up. That's nice. Hold on a second. Let me check something here. Joe, BB, Frankie, Arnolfo, Blue, Born Free, Greg, Sada, Matthew Thompson. All right. FBD, Lou Bones. Dang, you guys are busted it out tonight. I'm loving it. Make me feel special. Let's see here. All right. I got a little different setup tonight, guys. I'm making sure that I could show you some screenshots tonight because there's so much going on. So I'll be able to jump back and forth. See, I set up all fancy. But first we'll catch up. And you're welcome for the notice, Vince. Did you get a notification? I know you haven't been getting them. What's up, Heidi? Koru? Hey, guys. I can ride the short bus with you? All right, Born Free. As long as I don't hurt my head. What was the finger rumors, Jack? We'll go over stuff. I'll tell you everything I know, and we'll see how far it gets us. Hi, Diana. How are you? So crazy couple days, huh, guys? Not what we want. Sucks. They are full on attack mode, manipulation. It's nuts right now. They took that options opportunity and just ripped us. So I'm waiting to see. It seems to me like everybody's girding back up, getting ready to build back up on this. I don't know how fast it'll happen or whatnot, but I'm thinking tomorrow is going to be very interesting. And maybe, just maybe, if anybody was going to come back in Monday, Tuesday to fight the shorts again, kind of like we saw last week, we definitely saw some buyers fighting. They might have held off because they know that tomorrow is going to be a big day of exposure, and just let them go nuts these last couple of days, and go nuts they have. I hope you guys are emotions are in check, because it has not been fun. It has not been fun, but I think there's a lot of craziness gearing up here. Oh, thanks, Radar. You love the lives. I love it. You got a notification this time? Well, that's good. Dave, what's with the ammo Linda's using against finger? I know. Did you guys see that new report? They're so stupid. Busy Brand sent me a text about an hour ago because I wasn't online, and he sent it to me, the story, and I could not believe that they doubled down. Like, what idiots. They got a court case against him already. Busy's going up against him with his lawyer. I mean, it's like, how stupid do you have to be to double down? It just reeks of desperation. The problem is, we know they're struggling, and we're going to cover that tonight. I'm going to show you guys a lot of the stuff that shows they're struggling. And it's just facts. It's just, we can see it. But the problem is we know they're struggling, but we just don't know what's going to take to break them. And other than the long, slow haul. But I know you and I are in the same place. We want to break them fast. We're all ready. So we're going to see what happens. But hopefully tomorrow's good. I don't know if it'll do anything to price, but it might wrinkle some feathers, and that moves forward for us. So, Wall Street, what do you think tomorrow will look like for Finger with SEC? I don't know what will happen with the price for sure. I mean, these guys, I don't think they care. They're in such a bad place right now. They'll probably just keep shorting no matter what. They also probably don't believe we'll get to the SEC. But I tell you what, if I was, if I'm the SEC, and I know how these politicians think. They, if you're at the SEC, you're at a conference, and all these people show up, and they are not just protesting, but going all out with the truck, flyers. Apparently we're going to have reporters there. That starts getting things moving. It does. Because there's nothing on earth politicians hate more than bad press. Nothing. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, especially, we don't know who all is going to be there, but there might be big, powerful people there who are going to be like, hey, what's going on, Gary? What's going on with this? That's what we want. We want that pressure to build up too. The people who didn't know about it that are powerful, that don't want the attention or actually care. Because there's a few of them up there. And so that's what we want too. So it was a brilliant idea of him to put this together. I can't wait to see how it works out. Don't forget my imitation of Bane doing William. Today was quite painful. Today was quite painful. I'll have to work on it. I got to build myself up. Yeah, accumulation. Be cheap for payday. There you go. Oh, you paused Mr. Robot Season 2, Episode 2? How you doing, George? I mean, Season 2 already. That tells me you guys are digging it. I love it. Gretchen, you remember that orthopedic shoe joke from the other day? I work at a hospital, posting your cafe joke for it. That's awesome, Gretchen. That's awesome. I love it. You're chilling, David. I love it. Diane, you wanted to go to DC? I know, I wanted to too. I just wasn't going to be able to make it. It's, it's sad, but people are busy. We have lives. It's a mental battle. That's exactly what it is. Big psyop. Yeah. Sorry about the Niners. Yeah, I know, Sideshow. Everybody's going to bring that up, and we'll talk about it. We'll get it out of the way. Just not yet. That's not why the people are here. But those of you who stick around, you guys can read me over my team right now. But we'll talk about it later. I have no idea how many people are going, Diana. Sorry. JD, other stocks Univest got to run triple digits, never had a 200 million short springboard in loyal educate base, 4 digits minimal. I love it, JD. I love that talking. Did you tweet that earlier? I know I read that exact same thing earlier. So you either tweeted that or maybe you saw that tweet. But anyways, it's great. They mentioned GTI in the FUD report. Oh, that's great. I didn't even read it. I can't read their writing. It's terrible. Listen, I'm a professional copywriter. I get paid for writing and marketing. I can't read bad writing. It drives me nuts. The one dry powder being wired tonight for either finger or GTI. Nice. What's up, Barbara? Al? Hope Richard's not. He would deflate our cause. That's funny. I love the community too, Joshua. Sideshow, you want to bet against him? I know. Not legal. Here he is. Nick Slocum seems involved in disinformation campaign in my casual investigation and not legal advertising. Nice. Nick Slocum. Is that the capybara guy? Sure as I'll buy more tomorrow, says Saber. Saber, I got a tweet of yours tonight. It was really good. I'm going to show it here in a second. Starting to think Univest isn't coming? No, they're coming. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I don't think they're out. In fact, I had confirmation that they're not from somebody I greatly trust. So you don't have to be sorry about the Niners, Rosie. I want to be for most teams. Your wife and you were watching Roaster Robot, Nick? I love it, man. I love it. So, okay, I'm going to start going through some of this stuff. Okay, guys. So, and I'll just keep checking in with you. So finger today, not the best, but interesting stuff here. Volume under 1 million. We're drying up again, and they're taking the opportunity to short us down on every opportunity. And after hours doesn't take much volume to pop us back up. It's always interesting how that happens. Just look at that though, just straight down pretty much all day, especially in the latter half of the day. Just really sucky. We hate it. I know. GTII, same thing, just no volume. I think it's drying up due to the dividend coming out. But I did think it was interesting we were green today. So that's kind of fun. But anyways, as far as GTI is concerned, I think this price is an amazing accumulation point, guys. I personally, if I had funds, I'd be getting in on both of these right now. But I am interested to see if GTI flips the script on us with this dividend this next weekend. If nothing else, I think we get some movement. But there's a small chance, and I do say small. There is a small chance it could initiate the squeeze. I showed you guys the chat GPT thing. Special dividends are actually really good for putting pressure on shorts. And so who knows on that, but I love GTII. It's still my number one. There just hasn't been much to talk about with it, but that's going to change this next week. So be sure to, this is a good chance to accumulate these next 3 days before Monday. So there's that. All right, I'm going to go through some tweets. I saved some tweets today because there's just a lot of interesting stuff out there. This is from Maddie right here. I love where he put this is criminal shorts seriously wrote a speculative hit piece the night before the SEC enforcement conference. How interesting is that? And you guys know this is going on. I mean, the news is out there. These guys follow us. They've proven it. And the fact they release it right before this night, that is very interesting to me. They're either stupid, which, we know they're stupid, but are they that stupid to bring this out? Or it's just absolute desperation. One more chance to try to get something out there to go against us because they're worried about tomorrow. But I thought this was a great observation that I actually hadn't been thinking of. And so that it's just interesting to me, the timing. Why would they put it out tonight? And this is the only thing that makes sense, is that tomorrow Ham is going to be blowing people up along with all of his friends and everybody he's put together. Over here I got Saber. This is you, buddy. I love this tweet you put up. It's confirmation this is at least a GameStop level play, and that's Saber responding to the crappy bear thing. I can't lie, guys. I kind of like this graphic. I hate that I admit that, but it is a pretty good graphic. But yeah, I love that you put that up there, Saber, because I could not agree more. You're right on that. Let's see. I've seen a lot of stuff popping up here real quick. Aaron Fox Hunter says, Ace, if GTI does not run off the dividend, when's the next catalyst that could make it run? The next catalyst I'd be waiting for is Finger to run, unless there's a major deal done, which you guys know is not guaranteed anytime soon. There are stuff they're working on, but other than that, but remember too that just in case it doesn't run Monday or Sunday, or sorry, it can't run Sunday, Monday or Tuesday, does not mean it's not running. Overstock took considerable time. I think it took 6 to 8 weeks for the dividend to finally break it completely. But that whole entire time, it was building pressure, forcing them to cover shorts, and then finally they lost it. But it was the special dividend that ignited it. And it just took time. So this does not mean that it's not working. What we need to keep paying attention to is the price continually going up? Are weird things happening? Because that could all be signs that a squeeze is building. Some things do not squeeze super fast. Some things take time. Overstock took time. GameStop took time. So we don't know what to expect with GTI. I think GTI, when it finally does break, goes nuts and goes fast. But it could take a while to get that break. Maybe we're $1 next week. Maybe the next week $2. Maybe the next week $3.50. And then finally we hit $5 and then it breaks, or it takes 10. I don't know. But just because it doesn't rocket off to the races on Monday does not mean the dividend's not working. We have to give it time. These things can take time. So is the capybara thing a parody? It should be. It should be, because it's so terrible. But unfortunately, no. So Finger's going to run deep on a post pattern as long as he stays healthy. That's all I care about. Okay, the next tweet I saved. Let's see if it pulls it up. Okay, so these are kind of the signs, guys, that we're in a really good spot. All right, so NHL Smashville posted virtually 0 shares to borrow. Cost to borrow for the few available is almost 250%. 250% is massive, okay? And I'm going to show the graph here in one of these tweets coming up. But it was also on the SSR list today. So short restricted list today. No short selling supposed to occur, and yet we go down. I mean, isn't that insane? Thousands of shares bought had no effect. Selling 200 shares drops 25 cents. Guys, the manipulation in this stock is absolutely bonkers. It has gone to another level. What does that tell us? It says they are desperate. They cannot hide it anymore. This is as obvious as it gets. 0 shares to borrow. Cost to borrow 250. SSR list. And still this happens. We're still rocketing down on very low volume. Absolutely makes no sense. This is obviously it's not retail selling. There was more shares bought going up and barely made the price move versus shares sold making a dip down considerably. This is just, it's out there. It's obvious. There's no hiding it. If they're not hiding it, it means they're in a desperate place. So all of this is, I just want to remind you guys, it's good. I know Friday sucked. Okay, that's why I did 2 lives Friday and took the weekend off, except for the members live I did Sunday. So if you guys want to catch the members live, there's one on from Sunday that I did for about an hour, almost an hour and a half. But other than that, took the weekend off. I just wanted to gather myself, gather my thoughts, get my emotions in place. And just coming back, looking these last couple of days, it hasn't affected me at all, the price going down, because I was ready for it. But this is what matters, okay? These are the things that matter and we got to pay attention to. All right, here's Kit. Kit, I love you if you're on. You do such good stuff. Way over shorted now. This is suspect going for 200 million out of 26 million float. 8-1 ration. Unreal. I mean, isn't that just crazy, guys? Look at this. Look at this cost to borrow and everything. It's just unreal. It's absolutely unreal. Up to 244. And almost we're close to 200 million. The price on this is going to skyrocket. Remember, I just did that video ChatGPT. I put in 180 million and it said the price broke 8,000. I think maybe it was 7,800, but basically 8,000. Add another 20 million on top of that. You were talking, the math says 8,500 about. Is unreal. They are trying to give us the greatest short squeeze in history, and we just have to fight it. We just have to not give up. All right, let me catch up here for a second with you guys. Alpine's going down by January, February, says Daniel. That's true. That is another catalyst if once that finally happens. So I'm saying there's a chance. Yeah, Vince. That's true. Fix-It-Man says HKD went to 2,500. I don't know how many shorts were on that ticker. I don't know either. In fact, I actually think HKD was not a short squeeze as much as it. I mean, it acted as one, but it wasn't a built-up short squeeze. It was based off the IPO being oversold, and then they had to recall shares. So, KYP, what's going on? Aaron, they know they can get away with it for now. They can. Until the cost. And Ham makes a really good point. Ham, I was talking about, if they could do this unlimited, they would let the price go up because they'd be making a lot more money that way. They cannot do this unlimited. It costs them too much. It just feels like it because we've been here forever. But they're actually doing the bare minimum they can just to survive. Every day, they're going to do as little as possible. Otherwise, they would have shorted us into the ground, running up 4 or 5 million days every day. They would be doing that until we're dead. But they can't because there's no reason for them not to. They're not making money off this. They're bleeding, but they're just bleeding slower some days than others. Yeah, Saber, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's right, man. I didn't say it would squeeze by this point, Coriander. I said I thought it could, and I thought there was a good chance of it, but I never said for sure anything. So, Wall Street Bets character in a rat form. Ramon, if the SEC meeting actually makes something happen, I think it'll make GTI and Finger around at the same time. We'll see. We'll see. That is a possibility. I think it's a low possibility, but it is a possibility. So prepare accordingly. Fix-A-Man says, pull up HKD 2-year chart. Look at August 2nd for fun. Please on my share screen. The 2-year chart on HKD. Yeah, just a second. Let me get that going here. You just want to get excited here for a second. Watch HKD. HKD is a wild one. It is crazy. Let's see here. I gotta do the 3-year. On this one anyways, it doesn't give me the full. Let me make this bigger if I can. All right, well. All right, guys, so yeah, here's HKD. I know this is not the best view because it's small, but you see what I mean by saying it was basically like IPO. It opened on July 10th, okay? There's not enough time to make a major short squeeze. What I read about HKD was that it was an IPO that was oversold, and so they sold the snot out of it, and then they recalled the shares. And so July 10th hits market, boom, up on, what day was that? 7:31 it looks like. Hits 7:21. Yeah, I can't make this bigger unfortunately. But anyways, you guys see that up, and it does not show because it didn't close at 2,500, but it spiked. And now I remember when this happened. See 400 closed at 7:20 the next day. It just shot up, down. It was wild. It was so wild. I remember seeing it, and now look, it's just been. It's just look how low. It's crazy. This is completely possible in Finger, so completely possible. Anyway, HKD was wild, but I don't think it was a short squeeze. There was no time to really accumulate those shorts. Joe, you got 8K GTI today? Nice. After the Capybara BS article, I'm waiting for the George Costanza. George Costanza. Oh, my God. Oh, man. You're speaking my language, talking Seinfeld. James, I anticipate extreme fuckery on the dividend distribution. I'm going to call my broker tomorrow, see what the response will be. They're already trying. Don't worry. GTI has lawyers on it, so hopefully they're going to get it fixed for us. But can Finger issue a special dividend? Absolutely. I don't think we're there yet. Special dividend obviously is great, and we hope that if we need it, I'm sure they'll go for it, but I don't think we're going to need it. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think it's slipped off that much. So, Jay says everyone hit the like button. Yeah, please guys, if you're enjoying the show, please like. Would the SEC meeting be televised record? I don't think so, but it is worth looking into it. There might be an obscure YouTube channel broadcasting it. There might be like some business channel that's broadcasting it. You never know. It's worth looking for, because it would be really interesting, wouldn't it, to be seeing all those guys at the front. Steve, it was so poorly written, I thought it was a parody. Bill Cooper, interesting thought. Why don't they short it under 10 cents, let it sit there, so that way to-do lists, and they never have to worry about this? What is stopping them from doing that? Well, Bill, I think it's the fact they don't have the money to do it. And I think that is the proof that they can't do this as much as they want to, or as much as they need to. They're only scraping by doing exactly what they need to do to just survive. And I think because, they're pulling in money from other places. This isn't their only play. They are, they're firms working in the financial markets. They have money probably continually cycling in, and they're just using it every day. But it's why they can't do in one day, knock it down all the way. They just don't have those kind of funds. So my personal opinion is they're just knocking it down every day when they can, as much as they can. And that's why we continually, when there is buying pressure, why we continue to go up slowly, because they're unable to keep it down. And that's good news for us. Saber, they ignored your buy orders today. Took forever to fill even when offering several cents above market. Wow. That's crazy. Jay Abrams, what's up, man? Yeah, this is the earliest you got here. You're not getting notifications. That's crazy. I'm sorry. Ham just talked a lot about tomorrow in his call today, so I don't really have too much new stuff from Ham. You sent the message and screenshot for this HKD squeeze? Okay, I'll pull it up. Maybe you got a better picture than what I pulled up. Oh, yeah, you got the graph. Okay, so here we go. I'll pull up what Fix-It-Man just shared me. So there we are. High. I mean, just look at that. Zoop. That's so wild. That's just crazy, man. And then right back down those low levels. So I do think that's very possible for us with Finger. Your pizza's done? Nice. Tom, thoughts on us getting too big to squeeze? I don't think there's any way we do. You got to remember, AMC is a whole different animal. That you had billions and billions and billions of dollars invested in AMC shorting it. We're talking Citadel, major hedge funds, major banks, just so much interest in that stock. And they were in full control for the longest time, years leading up to the GameStop squeeze and all that. And they thought they had AMC dead to rights thanks to COVID. They did. Then the retail came in, basically saved the company. I legitimately believe that. But at the same time, you had Adam Aaron out the back door continually feeding them shares at every opportunity. So, and also you're talking about a stock that had a 500 million float to start with. 500 million, I think it was 550 million float to start with. That's crazy. 550 million is a lot of shares to start with. That's over, that's 22 times the size of Finger just in float. So you start with a float that big, and then you get 3.5 million shareholders to buy in. 3.5 million people hold AMC. That is so far beyond where we're at. I just don't see any way we ever get to that level. This is a small cap. And I just don't see any way we ever get in the danger of AMC. AMC was a special case. It was a special case because following GameStop, the news was all over the place and everybody was looking for the next one. And GameStop made headlines. I mean, it's a video game store. So many people have shopped there over the years. Something like 70% of American males play video games. So you can imagine, like, GameStop's very well known. That picked it up, and then people were like, oh, AMC's the next one. Oh, also, everybody knows what AMC is. Everybody loves the movies. Everybody goes to movies. We can be part of saving a movie chain. There's a story with AMC so much more powerful to people's emotions than Finger. Finger's great logically. You could explain it to people, but there's no emotional ping to it at all. And I'm telling you guys, as somebody who does marketing as a profession, I'll tell you that people buy with their emotions, not their brain. The vast majority of people. So there's no way Finger could ever get to AMC levels. It's just impossible. It has so many factors against it. Number one being recognition. So we don't have to worry about that at all, in my humble opinion. Even if we got to had a massive squeeze to say $8,000 like the math says is possible, it just wouldn't even... It would hurt the economy, not the economy. It hurt the markets a little bit, but wouldn't hurt us. It wouldn't be enough to stop us. So, will this be the best Christmas ever? Dave, I'm praying, man. You think Finger runs before the Niners win another game? Ouch. Well, we're gonna win Sunday. So, Coriander Ace, when will the squeeze happen? How high? I have no idea, man. I can't tell you how high or when. I can only tell you that I believe with all my heart it will, and I think it's be relatively soon. Rosie, bulls need to buy Finger up more often, force the shorts to come up with a report every week. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment too. So Gensler's keynote's being broadcasted. Okay. Other sessions are 1,000 for in-person and 500. Holy smokes, man. The SEC is fleecing people. $1,000 a ticket. God, I'd rather go watch, take 3 people to an NFL game. That's crazy. I don't think the shorts made a deal with Univest. Univest is too smart for that. They know that they can make way more money doing this. Plus, as far as I know, Univest is no fan of short sellers. So, yeah, I know we play this guys this Sunday. It's crazy. And we're the home game and you're coming off a bye. So I'm a little nervous, Scott. My Finger will go pit Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg high. I think that's a good one. I love it. All right, let me pull up something else I wanted to show you guys. All right, so here we go again. We have 40 minutes of 15,000 shares. So this is at the end of the day. 50,000 shares left, 244% interest. Isn't that crazy? How are they going to locate these shares? Just more proof of the manipulation. Here we go. This is the short numbers came out today. The actual short numbers, 126,000 borrowed shares, an average cost to borrow of almost 240. That's not quite true because they could have borrowed it before. But anyways, just crazy. Just crazy numbers, guys. All right, now let's move to this. And I want to talk about all the signs that something major is coming in the economy, especially the stock market. So I talked a little bit about this, I think Friday, and a little bit more on Sunday in my members live, but we're just going to go into this. There's a couple people I really like on Twitter, and I listen to a bunch of other people too, but I'm not going to be sharing podcasts or videos right now. So I'm just going to take what I can show from some tweets. But this was tweeted just a little bit ago. Michael Guyad's really good. He runs a fund that runs treasuries, okay, so not stocks, but he's very in tune to the market and signals because he's, like I say, he's dealing in treasuries. So he's looking at stuff, not just the stock market, not just companies. He's looking at market dynamics. And gold, he says, waking up. So what have we seen the last couple of days? Bitcoin shooting up, gold moving up. These are signs that people are moving their assets, okay? moving their assets. They're shifting out of the stock market into this. Now, I know the stock market had a good day the other day, but listen, it's all a show. The stock market's all a show right now. It's getting more and more volatile, and it's looking more and more like things are about to shift into something serious coming into the end of October into November. Next, he tweeted this tonight. So he says, the last of my intermarket signals just flashed. Okay. And he says, could be nothing or redemption. And he says redemption because he's been calling for, saying a crash is going to start any day now for about 2 months. And, so anyways, but he's telling us the last of his signals just flashed, which is very interesting. Things getting way more risk off, which risk off is moving into treasuries. Okay. He says this market's going to screw everybody except us, those of us in counter market plays. It's really good. And then this you guys might want to check out. It's just his article, but he's saying like why it's possible 20% down is possible. I think it actually could be worse. But imagine 20% is actually really huge. We're talking that would be about 900 points in the S&P. That would be over 6,000 points in the Dow. That's a massive stock market attack, stock market drop, and so a crash you could even call it. I do think it keeps going past that. But then next, BAM. You guys know I love BAM. In fact, I'm trying to maybe arrange having BAM live with me in an interview. I'm seeing if I can put that together. I love this guy. I know a lot of people don't like him because his model has not been able to predict AMC correctly. But you know what, guys? AMC, you can't predict a stock where the CEO is screwing you. You just can't. It's not going to follow the market trends. But I know several people who've used the BAM, his behavior analysis model, and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. His stuff's really good. And he's 40 years been doing this, knows his stuff. And he's saying he has not changed no matter what the stock's been doing. This setup is more bearish than my work was in the summer of 2008 prior to the collapse. More bearish than prior to 2008. Okay. This is the kind of stuff really important. And he puts up all these things going on. But then here you go. Warning, Dow Jones average is tracking the August 1937 period. So massive crash in 37. And so I just letting you guys know there's several smart people, okay, with their indicators looking at a possible crash coming. And I've been following both these guys for a couple of years now. They are not cry wolf types. They are not the types always going after it. In fact, quite the opposite. Michael Guyad last year was calling for a melt up when a lot of people were saying the stock market was going to crash. BAM also, many times people have been saying stuff, and he comes out and says, my model's not showing that. Sorry, guys. And so overall, I think these guys are very right. Nobody's right 100% of the time. Okay. So just remember that. Don't be super critical. These are smart men, though. They know their stuff, and they're not alone in this. I think something's coming. I don't know how fast, but if we're entering into this window, this all ties back to Finger and GTI because we are in counter market plays. These guys, if they're not making money on GTI and Finger right now, which I don't think, if they're making anything, it's only on some days and they're not making much, but for the most part, they're bleeding out. They're making money from all their other stuff, and that's what's allowing them to keep shorting. If that all dries up, if the markets start drying up and people aren't loaning anymore, because that's the first thing that goes when the markets go bad, all the risk assessors say, start getting into safe assets. that will trigger a squeeze as well. So we're seeing a lot of stuff going on, and this is not something that they can get out of. This is not a catalyst that they can figure out a way to circumvent. If the economy goes, especially the stock market crashes and it goes in a bad place, nobody's saving them. Nobody, because everybody's going to run for the hills, and that's what happens at a crash. So I am watching this very carefully because I do think it's important to be ready. How can the price go up a meaningful amount if the short ability is short to infinity? It goes up a little and they beat it down, constantly do this. Yeah. Jaime, they can't short to infinity. That's the answer. I don't think borders caused Univest to withdraw. Sorry. Cooper, so much interest in stock. I think the SEC is throwing its international company under a bus. Maybe. We'll find out. Who's ready for a typical 20% bounce back tomorrow? I mean, that would be awesome. The one says GTI is the greatest because they were counterfeiting that in the red, to my understanding. That's true. That is absolutely true, the one. And we have also the proof on GTII from the DTCC itself that says Alpine had a concentrated position in it. So that means they were extreme risk because of being in it. Good night, Blue 5. JC, could some of Ham's Wall Street connections be playing him? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is just a tough battle. And, that's what it comes down to. Tom, hi, Ace. TDA respond confirming you can sell so we'll find out. Yeah. On 10/27, that's Friday. The restriction doesn't lift till Sunday. So that doesn't even sound accurate. Jay, is GTI dividend released? It's released on the 29th. And so that means next Monday, it's supposed to be unrestricted. We'll see what happens. We're supposed to wake up Monday and our shares be unrestricted and tradable common stock again, but we'll see. I'm sorry, Bear. I can't suggest what to do with your 401k. You have to do that yourself. I'm not a financial advisor. So I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, hey, Ernie, what's up? You'll be short in the market, says Ian. Wall Street, 40% yesterday, 60% today on your TLT calls. Take the profit roll back. I mean, yeah, if you can. Yeah, I love Bam. I do want to talk to him. Vidman, we should end the term Ponzi scheme, replace it with Madoff scheme or Ken Griffin's. Oh, I like that. I like it. Ponzi sounds better, though. That's the problem. Ponzi just is more fun to say. And that's why it's going to be hard to replace it. Speaking of Wall Street Ponzi, rolling profits into SOXS. I don't even know anything about that stock. Billy Mack, the stock market crash already? No, the market didn't crash. It had a bad year, it went down, but I would not consider last year a crash. I mean, the Dow barely dipped into 29,000. I think the S&P went down at like 38. I don't consider that a crash. I think that's a bear market. It's a correction, but I want to not call that a crash. A crash, I don't know what the exact term of a crash is, but to me, a crash has got to be at least 20-25% down. Wall Street, talking to Billy Joseph, about 2 months ago, AMC had 1,500% borrow fee and nothing happened. Well, Joseph, the difference though in AMC is that all the while I was there, Adam Aaron was finding ways to get the shorts out of the positions behind your back. So that's the difference. And Finger is the exact opposite. Finger is putting the gas to these people, pushing them to get out of it. Also, when that happened, Joseph, that was still with all the ape nonsense before it was all cleaned up. Not cleaned up either. That was actually his get out of jail free card to the shorts when they did that reverse split. So anyways, the point is that AMC is an absolute debacle where the company screwed up too. This is not the same thing. And 200 and 244% like it is at cost of borrow fee is huge. It's huge. And then we should not overlook it. I'm honestly, I'm tired of the AMC comparisons. It is not the same thing. It's just not. And anybody who says it is, just honestly, guys, I know your emotions tell you it is, but that the facts do not hold up to that. It's time to stop comparing them. It's just not the same thing. You cannot compare them at all. There's literally, other than the fact it's a shorted stock, there's nothing the same. There's nothing the same. The companies are completely different. And so is the setup. It's just different. Hey, thanks, Aaron. That's very generous of you. Look at all these peeps. James Abrams back in the club. What's up? Jay, what's your question? Frank, we're in a good place. I agree. Stargazer, a professional writer. Can I give a flyover what my work is as a pro copywriter? Oh, Stargazer, do you want to be a writer? Is that why you're saying that? I mean, I'm not. So now I'm a marketing director, but so I still write copy. But I started as a content copywriter. Look, man, I'll just tell you real quick. If you want to get into copywriting or writing, my recommendation would be start at a small firm or a small company that needs a copywriter. Those jobs are always out there, and you won't make a lot, and you'll make maybe 30 grand a year, maybe 45 if you're lucky, as a starter. But you do that and just work your way up, show that you're awesome, and just keep banging it out. That's what I did. And but yeah, man, you just gotta go for it. Vinman, big banks are quietly cutting thousands of plays. That's right. He's exactly right. I've been reading about that. The banks are going bad. Do I mind explaining what the GTI dividend means? What price can be shorted? I don't know what you mean by the price that can be shorted, Bill. But the dividend is it's a special dividend that they gave to us. It's basically 10% more shares. So they basically handed us, for every $100 you spent, you get a free $10, which is awesome because it's a one-time deal where the shorts have to come up. If it's hard to back up. Did you watch my video on ChatGPT? Because it explains it all. But the point is when a dividend is released, if short sellers have shorted your stock and borrowed those shares, but even if they haven't borrowed them, if they shorted your stock at all, they are now responsible to deliver the dividend. The shorts are. And so in a normal functioning stock market where there's no naked shorting, what a short seller would do in most cases would weigh their options. Is it cheaper for me to cover, or is it cheaper for me to pay for this dividend? And they decide what to do. Well, we know we're naked shorted, right? So we believe GTI is around 450 million at this point. And let's just say 400 for a round number. Well, the float of GTI that is being delivered a dividend is like 75, 80 million, somewhere in that range. So GTI delivered 8 million shares to the DTCC. So GTI did its part, was like, here's the real shares. This is our float. Here's our 10%. We're done. We gave it to you. You disperse it. So the DTCC holds on to this until it's time for the brokers to release the dividend, because it's restricted 6 months. So they're holding it. Well, guess what? The brokers have allowed short sellers to sell up to 400 million. So the brokers now are in a deficit of 32 million shares, at least, somewhere in that neighborhood, at least. So they now have to come up with those shares to deliver to everybody. And so they're calling the short sellers, being like, you guys need to deliver it, or they know they can only get real ones, so they're scrambling to find them. So what's happening is people are calling the brokers, and the brokers are telling them, oh, we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to have to transfer your shares. We can't deliver it, or whatever. All this insanity is going on because it actually is expensive for them, where the truth is, if they were legally doing what they were supposed to be doing, it cost them nothing, because GTII delivered those shares. And so they would just take the real shares and deliver them, and it's done. But since it's shorted out so much, now they have to come up with all this extra money, all these shares. And so it's putting insane pressure on the brokers right now. And the brokers have to determine if they're going to put that on the shorts or not. But they're obviously, when they say they're not going to deliver them, that's them trying to basically tell us they're trying to get out of it. They're trying to get out of it. But it's insanity, because it shouldn't cost them a damn thing. So the point is that the pressure's on them because of the dividend. And so we got to hope that that pressure keeps on and they don't find a way out. And I don't think they will. last year when GTI delivered the warrants at 275, the stock ran to $9, and a lot of that was because of the warrants. So we're very hopeful this will do the same thing. Plus, there's been other stocks that were shorted. Overstock's the most famous one, that have delivered special dividends, and that is what broke the shorts and delivered the short squeeze. So that's how it works. Vinman, next 5 largest U.S. banks cut a combined 20,000 positions so far this year. That's crazy. That's crazy. Joseph thinks they'll try to attack to 5 tomorrow. They might. Ace, what do I think NVOS could squeeze you? I don't know. I just started following NVOS a little closer today, actually, because of their news that they're doing that $5 million stock buyback. I don't know. Maybe a couple bucks, $2, $3. I don't think it's got like a massive short against it. Albert, thanks. They're AMC shell shocked, right, Daniel? It feels like it. Husker, it's all nonsense. One for the history books. Glad we're battle tested. We are. Scott, for those of us who are AMC, we have trauma. Yeah, I know, man. I was in AMC for a year and a half. It was terrible. AMC's done after RS, says Cal-L. People are so emotional. I agree. Pat Chagoya, welcome to Basic Supporter. Thank you, Pat, for becoming a member. You now can go watch all the old member lives that I've done. And there's some fun ones. Interesting ones, and then also I'll be doing 3 to 4 extra lives a month. I try to do that anyways, just for members. Optics, fingers gonna run like Christian McCaffrey on a jet sweep, or on that pass last night when he took it to the house on like 50 yards. That was awesome. Jay, why do I never hear anything about Deutsche Bank being involved in them? I have no idea. Next major catalyst for finger coriander? I don't know. Bill, can they just do cash in lieu, put cash in for shares? They might try it. We'll see. And maybe they will. Still be expensive though. It's 60 cents right now, 67 cents. So I don't know. What would that cost them? 32 million shares cost them $24 million, something like that. What's up, Lucid? Can they give us fake? No, they can't, because it has to be traded. So, Wicked, when special dividends drop, does that hit like buying in, or they already account for? They should, if they did it right, it should just be an extra 10% of shares in your account. That's it. So your account on GTI goes up in value 10%. That's what it should be. But that's if they do it correctly. Restricted shares makes it impossible to fake, says Stony Bones. Aaron says, what happens if next week rolls around, we still can't access our dividends or sell them? Then we're in a fight. And GTI's already released lawyers to go after making sure this works out. Everything's going smooth. So, we could end up in a legal battle. We'll see. But I guarantee you, Wes Christian in his lawsuit is monitoring all this, share intel, all of it. So they're just shooting themselves in the foot. We're going to win one way or the other. It's just a matter of time. I want it to be sooner than later, like you guys do, but we'll see what happens. Can't wait to buy more finger on Friday, says Phil. Nice. Bill, reminds me of GTI dividend versus MMTLP. This is not the same thing, though. This isn't a spinoff, Bill. You got AMC PTSD too, Vinman? Is Univest still buying in? From what I've heard, Univest has not gone anywhere. They're on their own time, guys. They're a major investment firm, $160 billion in capital and assets. They do what they want to do, and they know how to make money. So listen, we can't depend on them for timing. It's going to happen when they want to do it. AC, you saw a tweet, Bill Gates now the largest owner of farmland. He's been that for a while now. Croteau, if GTI dividend doesn't make a squeeze, what will? Well, for one thing, it's going to eventually go. It has to. This has to break. So what's going to happen is we either give up or they do, or GTI does, I guess, as a company. That's the only way it doesn't happen. But there's a lot of stuff coming down the road, guys. I mean, I don't want to look a year out. I don't want to wait a year. I don't. And I know you guys don't either. But I'm not going anywhere because I know they're trapped. I mean, I've been over this 100 times. I've studied this thing inside, outside. I know it almost as well as I know my children at this point. I know this play. There's no way they have out. And so if the dividend doesn't make it squeeze, then what's the next thing that could happen? Well, eventually GTI is going to sign a big deal. And what if that doesn't happen? Okay, well, eventually the market's going to crash. Okay, what if that doesn't happen? Well, the SEC just passed a bunch of new short selling rules. Most of them go into effect next year. Okay, what if that doesn't happen? I don't know, but they can't do this forever because they are losing. They are losing. It's getting tighter and tighter on them. Look at the manipulation they're pulling on finger. Okay, eventually we win on one of these, and that alone will set off all the others. We just have to win one. We just have to win the first one. And right now, finger looks amazing, but GTI, I think, could be looking like this very soon again. We're right there, guys. Something's got to break. Something has to break at some point. Now, if all of those things don't happen, then I don't know. You can sell and go live your life in peace and not worry about this. I'm still going to keep my shares in here. Maybe, I will, because I believe in this. I do. And until GTI folds or pulls some Adam Aaron crap, I'm not leaving. They are trapped. They are trapped. And so it's basically like it's a staring contest. Who's gonna give in first? Who's gonna blink first? My money's on them. My money's on them. But both sides are really good at staring. Let's put it that way. Tansy, Univest might be waiting for shorts to bleed out. Then it's possible. It really is. Maybe they're waiting until it gets lower, and then they just. I don't know. I can speculate, but we're not. I can tell you this. I mean, look at this. I pulled this up. This is from Tommy Wang. We know Tommy Wang. I don't know that much about him. What I do know, though, is he's loaded, and I know that he is heavily invested in finger. Okay. And this is what he posted 4:19 on Friday. So this is after calls, and this is when word started getting passed around that there was a lot of people with a lot of money in calls that had really expected it to run Friday, and it didn't, and they're pissed. And so he posts this. I don't know what it means, how it means anything. I have none of the details. Okay. But I did think it was interesting. He posted this, and Borders posted some stuff too about people he knows. And so I'm just telling you guys, like there are people who could maybe push this themselves. It could happen another way outside of Univest. There's several big whales, investor whales who love this stock finger, who believe in the setup. I mean, look at last week, guys. Those people, when it ran to 725 and we had the calls, 50,000 open interest calls, it's like, these people, there's somebody buying that, and it's not retail. Okay, retail owns some of that, not most of it. That's people with money buying in because they see the value in this, and those people hate losing money. Trust me, there's nothing these people hate more than losing money, and they are pissed off. So I gotta believe they're working on making something happen. They're talking to each other, whatever. But the thing is we don't know when. I can't tell you tomorrow, next week, whatever. But I can tell you that these people have more money than the shorts. They do. And so we'll see what happens with that. I mean, maybe that's something, maybe we just see a massive buy-in going over a few days. Because remember, also, fingers over 5. So hedge funds can buy in. Big banks can buy in. So I'm just telling you guys that I don't know right now. There's not something set in stone I can point to, but I can also tell you that if we're going to be defeatist, you're in the wrong place, because I can still see multiple ways these things can happen. I don't know which one's going to be it. It's probably going to be when we least expect it, whatever. But the point is that there's for me, I would have to see a road that's empty ahead. I would have to see a road where I see no hope. And if you're telling me there's no hope in GTI and finger, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're talking about, because I can see it. It's to me, it's obvious. It's just, I don't know which one it's going to be. That's it. And so that's what it comes down to. Let's see. Oscar, we're giving the shorter thumbs down, a finger up. We're not backing down. That's right. Coriander sus. I'm watching him. Mark Meadows turned on Trump. a lot of these, I don't want to go too deep into this because I know most people aren't here for this, but I've been reading a lot up on those plea deals being made, and none of them are pleading guilty to the RICO charges. So in other words, none of them are going to be able to testify against Trump in the in the actual case. So I don't think it's going to flip on that. They're hey, my wife's home. How is Univest operating past plays? It's been different, but they've most of them were IPOs. There was a couple where they had S3 set up like they do in fngr, and they just, when they choose to, when it's time, they just run in, and the volume goes up, they're buying up, and it shoots the price up and then breaks the shorts. And they've done it several times. Go watch Avid's video again if you need to. He goes through like 12 of them. ESK, tell me Daniel Boers both said they're not going to speak hardly at all in fngr publicly anymore. Yeah, see, I think you mean tell me, you mean Tommy. Tommy never speaks anyways. Gabrielle, I made 20,000 on AMC, sold at 50, lost it all on BBIG. Ah, yeah, BBIG, that one sucks too. Jobu was a voodoo doll. Yeah. Retail, yeah, I know I knew what it's from Major League, but it's just funny that he posted that right after. The I do it myself part is the thing that, sticks out to me. Retail accumulation, not going to squeeze fngr. I agree with you that the accumulation doesn't squeeze them, but the accumulation is vital. Without the accumulation, we don't have the floor upon which it can be brought up and busted. Okay. Also, on top of that, the accumulation means that we're all in it. It means that we all have a chance. Whereas a lot of these squeezes happen, they're only insiders who know about them. And it's just the big boys jump in, they make their money, they get out, retail gets nothing. This time we're in it, and the big boys are watching it with us. So it's good for all of us. What's up, Social Watch? Stoney, I hope GTI takes till Thanksgiving. I bought a crap load last year around then, and I'm holding. There you go. You get your, for me, it's like I've had so many go long this past month. It's been great. It's first week of November. You're calling it, Dave? First week of November? Heavy Chevy, what's up? Oh, you're welcome. You guys talking about the Duke? I don't know. Social, it was a kiddish report. The first post of crappy pictures tells her a bunch of college grads seem to be shorting the stock. Who was given with F3 key. Report made 0 sense. It's because it's poor. It's not real. I'm sorry it feels like it's over, Coriander. You get out, man. Go find another stock. Go start day trading or something. Like, just if you're not here for the battle, it's I get it. It's hard. It is hard. I don't recommend it for anybody unless you're willing to fight, unless you can gird yourself up and say, you know what? I'm here to win. And that means I'm going to go through the pain. I'm going to go through the hell. Look, if you're out of shape, it's hard work to get in shape, and it takes longer than most people think. You have to start a routine, and that's what we're in. We're in a fight. It never was going to be overnight, except for maybe the few lucky people who get in right before. But that's so rare. And we're up against a monster. We are. And, but we're going to win. And so it's what you can do. I made a determination a long time ago. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to cry about this. I know I'm in for a fight, and I know that I'm going for something that's beyond what most people would ever want to get into. And that's why most people are completely content getting their job, getting a 3% raise every year, living in an apartment, and just watching Netflix every night and scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And that's what a lot of people do. In fact, that's what the majority of Americans do at this point. And it's really sad, honestly. But that's what, to me, I can't live life like that. That sounds like living hell on earth. So I'm going to pick fights. I'm going to find the fights where I think I can win, that are beneficial to myself and others. And I'm going to fight those fights. And it's hard. And it sucks. And sometimes I want to quit. And it's not comfortable. And I've lived the comfortable life, and trust me, it's way easier, but it's also way less rewarding, because when you finally do get that win, it's completely worth it. And I don't know if it's because I grew up with my dad and mom were fighters, or if it's because I played sports as a kid competitively. And so I learned how to train, how to practice so that we could win. I don't know what it is, but there's something in me that understands everything that's worth it in life. For my life, for self-improvement, is going to be a pain in the butt to get. But when you get it, it's worth it. And so to me, it's like, yeah, days like Friday, I didn't want to be here anymore. I was like, this sucks. This is hard. But I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm like Leo in Wolf of Wall Street. So, it's up to you guys what you want to do. But that's me. That's me. Roger, you think tomorrow's going to be epic? I hope so, man. I'd love to see them maybe get the SEC to finally do something. Tomorrow will be great. If not, you'll moon yourself, Al. I love that. VO Ace is a machine, taking the Yahoos and their ridiculous return. Thanks, VO. I appreciate you. Jay, you should read what Sidney Powell admitted to. It's not going to be able to be used in that RICO case at all. So you got to read the legal stuff, man. I can send you a story on it, written by a real lawyer. So he went through the points. Coriander has been, it is, yeah. Grace, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Radar, someone says Univest facilitating the selling of finger, not the buying. I know I'm legally blind, but I did not see that on that street. I agree with you. Joseph, what's the possibility of some people selling finger because they're so upset? I mean, most of the people have finger they buy. Listen, Joseph, if they were going to sell because of Friday, they already did. So they're already shaken out, and we'll move on without them. I guarantee you it's not enough to change our future in this. It's not. Everybody was going to be shaken out was already shaken out. Because, I mean, look, we're going to have 520 something today. There's nobody staying in. If Friday was enough to shake them, they're already out. That's how I see it. If MMTLP wins, all tickers win. If MMTLP loses, all tickers lose. I unfortunately, Sean, completely disagree with you. MMTLP will help other tickers, but it's not an all or nothing game. Jack, how is it over if the storyline hasn't changed? Amen. Thank you. Thank you for saying it, Jack. Dave, I need this to run because they're going to make my Christmas shopping late. I'm going to miss the sales. You won't need the sales if this runs, buddy. You buy more of the one. When I have stuff, I buy in too. Edward, did you hear how passionate William was about maybe a future settlement with MMTLP? Yeah, I do think they'll get that, Robert says, I don't get a 3% raise every year. I'm sorry, man. You must not be in a corporate enough job. Again, need a wrecking ball. Ricky, could it be our government not letting the stock squeeze? No, I don't think so at all. I don't think the government has any incentive to block a short squeeze. For one thing, they would get massive tax revenue in a time when they really need it. So that's number one. Number two, I don't think our government's competent enough to stop it. I really don't. I think I think the government turns its head and says, you guys go do all that stuff. We'll keep accepting your bribes through lobbyists or whatever. And we'll allow you guys to get away with stuff. Just don't make it so obvious that we have to catch you. That's kind of the deal the government has with a lot of crooks, especially in the financial markets. It's basically like, don't screw up so bad that we have to come. Because when it becomes public, the government is going to do what it has to do to make it look like the government's doing its job. That's generally how the government works. And so, but as far as like stopping them, actually being involved to the point of stopping them, I don't see that at all. I haven't seen any evidence of that whatsoever. It's very speculative, and frankly, it doesn't match with what I've seen about the government. It doesn't mean there might be an official here or there, but as far as like you saying like it's basically a government conspiracy, I don't see that at all. I just don't. I get you, Coriander, but just when you talk like that a lot and it keeps coming and it doesn't look like we're getting through to you, it does feel, like a basher, so you just got to be, that's why I give everybody a chance, because sometimes they're not bashers, but you got to also be open to what we're saying. Steven, you're hurting yourself living in New York. And New York's rough right now. Jay, finger markets tied to the Chinese government to collect data on all phones in China. No competition. That's exactly right. Jay says the markets are forward looking. The stock is worth much higher up. Absolutely, Jay. I'm 100% agreement with you on that. The stock market, what is it? It's speculation. It's speculation. People don't invest just because a company is solid. They don't. They invest based on what a company can do for them in the future too. And so you're 100% right on that. That's why so many stocks that are deeply in debt or aren't even profitable are making tons of money. Like, how long was Tesla worth hundreds of dollars in stock before they were profitable? It was years. Netflix, the same thing. So it's all speculation, and that's what runs it. So, well, Jay, we'll find out when Trump's walking next year and he's president again. You'll see that I was right, and I'm more sure of that than I am of finger running. So that tells you how sure I am that Trump's coming back. Thomas, patience is key. Let's see. Ian says the S3 says they're not buying shares. Well, I mean, we'll see how it works out. I don't know. Gabriel, fingers should do a special dividend like GTI. It could. We don't know when it's going to happen. What's on the first? I don't know if anything's on the first. Cadbury are so short you can see their shoes in their driver's license picture. I like that, JR. Vinman, Black DA denies bail for only black defendant in the Georgia Trump case. Yeah, isn't that terrible? Yeah. No, I know, Vin. But listen, Powell got a great deal. She got a great deal. She's paying like a $2,000 fine and has like 3 years probation or something like that. She's going home. She's avoiding all the legal fees, and she doesn't have to plead guilty to RICO. She's pleading guilty to something that happened in Georgia. So it's only in the state. Has nothing. It's one of the side. It's not one of the big 7 offenses she was charged for. So, and let's see. ESK, do we know if Charles Payne has been notified? I'm sure he has. Ham knows Charles. So, Husker, they know once retail wins with finger GTI will be a massive force. Their funds over. Of course, they're going down fighting anyway. They can. That's very true. Yeah, this is like the Big Short, except retail's this time instead of 10, maybe 20 guys on the other side shorting the markets in 2008 and won it. Now it's hundreds of thousands of people. So they're going to lose a lot more this time. Brian, the government didn't care about Madoff until the FBI got a whistleblower, discovered the SEC knew for 10 years. Exactly. But it's a looking the other way. It's not getting involved in making stuff happen, if you know what I mean. Straight Catch, I'm sure you don't remember back in August I said Vikings over Niners. You said it was crazy. Okay, thanks for that, Straight Cash. Look, you made a good pick. Good for you. Cousins played the best game I've ever seen him play, and I've watched his entire career. So props to that. You guys beat us fair and square. Okay. We didn't have Trent Williams, our left tackle, best left tackle in the game. We didn't have Debo. So we were down a little bit, but it's no excuse. We still should have won. You guys didn't have Jefferson, so I get it. But Cousins played the game of his life. He played the best game I've ever seen. We still held you guys to 22 points. So our turnovers beat us, and that's all there was to it. We're still the better team, but you guys won fair and square. So good call. Welby, Krabby Bear has nothing to lose since they're going to jail anyways. Yeah. I wish Busy was on, because Busy's got the lawsuit against him. Roger, the 8L filing on 9/11 states Univest Securities is sales agent. Of course, Univest could also be a buyer. It's accurate to say they're seller for the purpose of the capital raise. Okay. Thanks, Roger, for breaking that down. But the point is that they're still, it's still them involved, and stocks they're involved in tend to get squeezed. So however the buy-in is conditioned. Dave, AMC made us more battle hardened. Oh, 100%. You don't worry about GTI and Finger. We're winning so close. Could happen tomorrow at 2 p.m. I like it, Dave. I want to see you get that right. That would be awesome. Vin, we should spread the false rumor. We should all sell Finger when it gets to 25. Oh, there you go. Unfortunately, I think some people might believe it that are on the good side. Jay, your wife last 2 days been texting throughout the day. All the price drop just mean. Oh, that is mean. Is she mocking you? That's terrible. Al, I don't know if we have time to wait. I know it is. Things are crazy right now. Joseph, I agree with you. Vince, I'll give a hit advice on how to handle ups and downs. Only play what you can't afford and don't depend on it happening tomorrow. That's completely true. That's I couldn't agree with that more, Vince. Good night, Vin Man. Thanks for coming by tonight. Stony, talking Coriander. Craig, what's up, man? Way behind. You were thinking, what do you think about police or someone trying to stop the truck and are harassing the driver? That's a random question. I don't know what you mean by that. Are you being hypothetical? A little more details, please. A lot of those agencies Trump was going to remove have turned their back on. Now it's revenge. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be crazy next time he's in, guys. I really do. Welby, when's GTI dividend again? It's next Monday. It should be next Monday. Yep. Jade says, I'll bet you're wrong. I'm so sure I'll bet I'm right, and I'll bet you all your shares. I'm serious. Okay. I'll see that bet, Jay. I'm not scared of that. Listen, everybody said I was wrong in 2016 when he won. And in 2020, I think it was stolen, and I think he still won. And you can argue that all you want, but I think the evidence is overwhelming. But that's fine if you disagree. But this time around, so far I've made a lot of money from some people, and it all went into Finger and GTI, betting me that Trump wouldn't win this time. And so far I've cleaned up on the DeSantis bets. So there's no way he's not the nominee. But yeah, Jay, we'll put a fun bet on it. How about this? We'll talk. We'll come up with different amounts based on if Finger or GTI run before, or if we're still in this place. God, I hope not. Leading up to the election next year, we'll come up with a fair bet, because I believe very strongly he's coming back. And the fact that he's literally the most popular politician in the U.S. right now, even despite all that's going against him, is crazy. But to me, it signals what's coming. That he gets more and more popular every time. Good evening, Dits. Eric, if Finger goes to the moon, it'll be the first time humanity's been there. Oh, no, don't start that right now. Oh, man. Lee, you're far behind on GTI news. There's not a lot of news in GTI lately. I mean, we're coming up with a dividend, and that's exciting because I can't wait to see what happens with that. And like I told you guys, do not be discouraged if it doesn't happen right away, okay? The dividend is not about squeezing them in an instant. It's about putting them in an impossible situation that builds up to a squeeze. And it is an impossible situation for them right now. And that's why everybody's getting all this craziness when contacting their brokers. They're in an impossible situation. How do we deliver all these extra shares? And they don't want to do it. They don't want to pay the cost. They technically, I don't know if they could legally buy it out. You'd have to. I bet we could probably sue if they do that, because that's not what the dividend is. So, anyways, they're in this really tough situation, and that's what happened with Overstock. It took time, but it kept moving up as they were covering, and then it broke, and it took a few weeks. And that might be the same thing with GTI. So don't be discouraged if Monday not much has happened. Just know that it's put something in motion that's going to be very difficult for them to get out of. It doesn't mean it's impossible, because I mean, I don't know. Nothing has proved to be impossible for them so far. But at some point, all this, you keep slugging somebody in the face over and over again, they're going to go down. And that's what this is. The dividend, whether it breaks them or not, it's a major haymaker, uppercut left hand to their chin. Now, it's up. We'll see if it knocks them out or not. Okay. Josh B, keep it up. I'm still looking ahead. Yeah, always. You're welcome. Thank you. Thoughts on Crappy Barrett? It's crappy. They're terrible. It's a stupid story. It's horribly written. It's not sourced well. It's just ridiculous. It speaks of desperation. What is this? The third or fourth hit piece they've now released in the last month and a half. I mean, that's insane, by the way. I've been in GTI for over a year. I've been in Finger several months, and just not seeing anywhere near the hit pieces come out on either of those stocks that are now coming out. The hit pieces always come out when stuff's heating up. That's what it's always been. And so it's very interesting. Jabba, if the election was stolen, people still have even more power. Not necessarily, but that's a long subject, and I'm not going to go into it tonight, but maybe on a members live. Jay, Powell made a plea deal. She pled guilty. In exchange, she must tell the truth and testify. I'm not saying she doesn't have to testify, Jay, but she doesn't have to testify in regards to RICO because that's not what she... but anyways, you got to read the details, man, of the case. Steve, Ace, has Trump really left? Oh, I see. Oh, I can't go there, Steve. I can't. That's the kind of stuff that gets you banned on YouTube when you start talking about that stuff. We'll cover that on members live sometime. I don't think YouTube monitors the members lives as much because they're not public, so they don't care. What's up, Just Mike? Gabriel, I'm going to the Trump rally in Miami. Hispanics for Trump all day. Nice. I've always wanted to go to a Trump rally. Could GTI rip based on dividend? Yeah, it could. Listen, man, I already went through the whole thing. It's kind of a long explanation. I went through it tonight, and I went through it in my video on ChatGPT the other day. So either go watch that video from the other day or go back here about half hour. Eric wants to join the Trump bet, but I say FJB resigns from corruption. Trump's back before the election. I just don't know how it's going to happen, but I'd love to see that. Vance, Trump recent poll numbers shows him up more than the fraud, so even if they try to steal it again, it won't work. Yes. Barris, the People's Pundit pollster on Twitter, who's been a very accurate pollster the last several years, he actually wrote that the other day that some of the polls coming in show that it would actually be Trump's so far ahead now that it'd be impossible for him to lose. So, not a basher. I get it, Coriander. I get it. Stoney, we need to keep emotions in check. Exactly. And don't let your emotions take over. Feel them, process them, get them out of your system, and then move on and get back to work. That's how we're going to win this. That's the only way we're going to win this. Stoney says, next Monday I'm expecting dividend broker fire with our EFRI with GTI. I hope not. But yeah, no, there's going to be some. There will be some. It's just what are they going to do? That's the thing. Any chance where there'll be another MMTLP? No, Lee. This is so different from MMTLP. MMTLP was never supposed to be trading in the first place. It was a spinoff. It was not supposed to be traded. They put it on the exchange. They weren't supposed to. Then they were pulling it off the exchange to turn to a private company, and they used that excuse to put out the U3 halt. This is nothing like that. This is not a spinoff. This is a special dividend that's just shares. It's just more shares. So they couldn't do that if they wanted to. Thanks, Jay. I'm glad you don't want to take all my life-changing shares. You know what? Honestly, Jay, if these run, even if I made a huge bet with you, I don't even know if I'd collect if these run and Trump won. I'd just be so happy. That's a win enough. Moody, I can't believe the Democrats are putting up the weekend of Bernie's guy for a second. They just don't have anybody else. They don't. They have no bench. The Democrats are a joke. Jeff Easton is getting emotional. I know. Oh, it's okay, Steve. A lot of people get banned talking about once you go on any kind of conspiracy route, whether in regards to Trump, the jab, or there's a couple other subjects that are just off. Oh, Ukraine, or and probably Israel right now. So I'm just very careful. I don't want to be kicked off the platform. Jack, Ace, have I had contact with Fidelity on the dividends? I got we are choosing not to deal with those and would like you to be put on the list, having them transferred. See, it's crazy. Like, how crazy is that? All it is they're supposed to give you shares that GTI is already given to the DTCC to give to you. What BS is that? That is so insane that they could even try to pull this off. It is like the most simple thing for them to deliver. But that shows you that we're right. That shows you we're right. Husker Power. Univest definitely strikes when nobody expects it. Man, I hope so. Gretchen, I know Mark. Yeah, I know. But listen, that's a free speech issue. Listen, you guys, I know you guys are so excited. You think you finally got Trump. You Trump haters. That's fine. I get it. I know. Enjoy your little time here while you're excited. And I'm just telling you he's going to be president again. And you guys are going to be like, what happened? And it's because he's going to be proven innocent. But that's fine. You guys enjoy your little victory laps right now. But it means nothing. It means nothing until the case is actually tried. And I don't think they're going to have anything. Vince, so I think it'll be FJB when we replace Big Mike. I think it's still going to be Biden. You can't. How do you pull a switch this close to the election? I just don't see it. Moody, William and Ham talked about Lynn being a front. Is it possible they're a front for a big? It's possible. I don't think so though. Travis, you agree with Ham? Finger has to be the one to finish this fight. Retail's flush with cash. They froze MMTLP investors out because it was going first. I mean, you might have a point there, Travis. I don't know enough behind the scenes to say one way or the other, but it makes sense. Brett, realistically, the dividend will have an impact later in the week. By Wednesday, they'll realize they have an oh crap moment, and that's possible. I do think Fidelity holds the most, and that's probably why they are freaking out. I think they probably have the most GTI. Roger, you haven't had a chance to call Fidelity. Sorry. Dave, have a good night. Stony, TOP went from 7 to 30 in after hours. Actually, Stony, TOP went 7 to 20 in regular hours, and then after hours went up to 280, and then again the next day. Yeah, so I do believe it's going to be like that and even crazier. Yogi, funny story from Bill Wing Fallout. West Virginia Governor Justice had a bunch more loans with Credit Suisse. He's not bankrupt. Oh, wow. Well, good. I like seeing corrupt politicians go down. Thomas, I'm sure I'm not the only one checking out $1 million houses for sale and sale. That crash is coming too. Housing is getting insane right now. It really is. Yeah, Finger goes 7 to 2. I think that's the low end, very low end. What if GTI squeeze while your shares are in transit? Well, you can refuse to have them transferred. You can just say, look, no, give me my dividend, and then we can fight them. And I think that might be what we have to do. Jay, someone on Ham's team needs to rewrite his flyer, send out as a press release. That's a good idea, Jay. I hope they thought of that. That's a good idea. Dems are going to get Hillary. No, Hillary's done. The Democrats, man, once they have a loser, they never run them again. They never do. Northwest, why are investors so excited about Univest driving up the SP when they're only being used by Finger to plus up cash when needed? Finger's cash positive. I don't see the near future with Univest buying. Well, I don't know, Northwest. It's a good question. The reason we're excited is because there is good reason to be excited. Univest has caused several short squeezes, and they have a history of that. And we have in Finger a formal agreement with them that opens up that door. Why else would they have that agreement? It makes no sense that they would just come in and set in that agreement and then do nothing ever. Not when this fits the bill for them. It looks like exactly when they get in these other plays and run them. So that's why people are excited, and I think it's completely legitimate to be excited. Now, you're right that Finger doesn't need to raise money right now. That is 100% true. And so it also means that Univest can pull a trigger on it for their sake whenever they want to. They don't have to wait. But they can wait if they want. So I think I think there's a lot of validation in being excited about Univest being a part of it. What's the problem is speculating on when they'll do it. That, in the past, Univest mostly has worked really fast, but they are smart. They know what they're doing, and so they'll do what they're going to do, and we'll find out. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. There won't be a 2024 election. I mean, I used to think that, but I'm starting to think there's going to be one. But who knows if we're in World War III, right? Roger, Northwest, because Univest is followed by large Chinese firms that know they only deal with quality companies. They bring wealth. That's absolutely true. Moody, is it the case of wartime pres has always been reelected? That's why the government wants a war? I don't think that's the case always. I'm pretty sure we could find, if we tried, a case where it hasn't happened. But it is true that most of the time a wartime president gets reelected. That is absolutely true. It's probably only got one or two exceptions, honestly, if it does have an exception, because I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, it's possible. I think there's way more going on than that. Let me just say that. I do. You wouldn't be surprised to see them push my mom out there. A lot of people think that. GTI going 1,000. I believe it. People ask if I'm going to dock. Have work tomorrow. Are you going? Oh, DC. Jennifer, I wish I could go. I really want to. I just can't. I have to be here with my family and working. I just can't get out of the way right now. But I'd love to be there. Ron, if people got over their personal hatred for Trump, maybe the division of people. Well, maybe. I don't think Trump's the divider, though. And Trump's actually a great unifier. You could see by the fact that Americans love him more than anybody else right now. As a percentage, obviously there's plenty of hatred for him, but it's the people who were trying to divide us who are the real problems. Like Obama, man, he was a huge divider, playing up race stuff all the time. Anytime somebody's pulling up race, class wars, any of that stuff, that's all division. That's all division. All this stuff, I'm not going to get into it tonight. Excited about the universe involved, just not with the speculation. Okay, thanks, Northwest. I agree with that. Ace, not gonna lie, we're from Minnesota. My husband was rooting for the front. Really just changed. Why is that? You guys don't like Vikings? Vince, how fast is Earth spinning? How fast is Earth going? Vince, we doing that now too? Donna, you search for Avid's YouTube on Lynn stocks they invest in. Donna, it's called. Here, I'll pull it up right now. It has a weird name to it. You want to
definitely.
You want to guess. You want to guess it by its name. Let's see. It is. You guys remember which one it is? Oh, I think it's yeah, here, I'm going to share the link. And I'm also going to show you it, okay? All right, here's the link. Did it send? There it goes. And then here's the
bombshell news drop for finger motion.
It's running right now, but anyways, it's will finger squeeze make you a millionaire. Okay. And sorry, the way my screen is, it's not showing that whole thing, but yeah, it's called Will Finger Squeeze Make You a Millionaire. And that's where he goes through all the Univest buys and where they've run things up. Not looking for an answer on this, but I believe we're going to see Trump back and so forth. I agree. Oh, before year's end? Well, that's interesting. Cantrix, even not World War III, if 3 fronts in a draft enacted, I could see martial law. Well, we'll see. I mean, we're in unprecedented times. That's true. If Trump was president right now, mean tweeting, there would be no wars. Well, that's true. He was a peace president. I think 1,000 for both stocks, easy too, Jay. Are you saying President Hoover? Was there a war going on with Hoover? Jennifer, it's so nice to read those comments. Oh, yeah, William's amazing. Is William still on? That'd be crazy. Vikings still suck. You've been in Minnesota 30 years. They have their years. I kind of like the Vikings. I'm not gonna lie. I root for them because they are bad a lot, but they're kind of lovable, and they and then they have these weird years every once in a while where they're good. But oh, you're welcome, AC. Have a great night. I gotta get off here soon too, guys. Sorry. So just a couple more minutes. Jack, you're welcome. Have a good night, man. Get up early. Vince was driving some black tents in Chicago showing units, drove past Tent City, and they're all voting DJT. Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. Well, hey, tomorrow, I have no idea what to expect in price. I mean, I expect attacks. I expect they're going to continue to come out. If anything, that Capybara story coming out tonight tells me that they're going to try and pull something tomorrow, maybe to shake us while we know that Ham and all those people are at the SEC conference. But just remember, tomorrow is about exposure. Tomorrow is about pressure on them. And I don't know if it affects the price tomorrow. Probably not. But who knows what comes out of it. So let's all just send our best thoughts and prayers with Ham and the team, hoping that they really, really, really get some pressure on these guys and exposure so that this can just eventually get over with, eventually soon. And then as everything else, just be on the lookout for signs in the market, and also watching GTI as I think it's going to dry up this week in volume, getting ready for the getting ready for the dividend. But at the same time, this is funny because I just had this thought. I was saying this, and actually maybe it goes up, because maybe people are excited about what's possible with GTI coming up. So who knows? This is one of those weeks where I'm watching carefully, but I don't really have any guesses as what's going to happen. I'll tell you what, though, the story hasn't changed. Things are good. We're in a great place. Okay. And I think that I think, guys, this is just a special opportunity, but it's a hard one too. It's a hard one to get to the win, but when it comes, we are going to celebrate like nobody's ever celebrated before, because we're going to have one of the biggest wins anybody's ever had, especially for as many people as are involved in this. And so I'm very excited, but right now we're just in one of those battle times. And so just prepare yourself for that in the moment. Jay, what I think is the best summary video. Jay, I purposely have done a couple of videos to do that. Let me pull up just so I can show you what like I said, I have purposely created a couple of videos just with that in mind, that people could find it easy. And let me show you. So and easy and simple. Let's see. I think. Okay, I think this one is the one where I go through both. And I do a couple other videos too you might want to go look at, but this one right here that I just sent you, and I'll show you the picture on my screen here. Just a sec. Gotta get this set up. All right, so this one where I said the best setup ever, that one might be one that you could use. And then I did a couple of these, like where I did the double short squeeze and stuff, and I talk about both of them in those. So just for that purpose. Anyway, is there a timeline for dividend? Yeah, the 29th. So you're welcome, Al. You guys have a great night. If you don't mind on the way out, leaving a like or subscribing, I'd appreciate it. Josh P, there's no get rich quick scheme. It's turned into learning important wealth qualities like patience, steadiness. 100%, Josh. 100%. Good night, Tom. Just Mike, Moody, Jasper, Barbara. You guys. Yeah, bless all you guys. Yeah, you guys have a great night, and yeah, love you guys. Sorry, Gretchen. Listen, politics is always just going to be brought up. I'm not going to avoid it, but I will make sure that it's not mean, gross in here. I don't think anybody was mean in here. And listen, we also have to have a safe place to be able to disagree. So I'm a political guy by nature. I'm always going to talk about when it comes up. I don't go too deep into it for a reason, except more on my members' lives. So, but it's up to you. It won't hurt my feelings. If you can't, you don't want to listen to it. But as far as I know, every one of us gets political at times. William does, Ham does. It's just the nature of the beast, because we all believe in our solutions. And so, but it's okay to have disagreements. I don't look down on you for not agreeing with me, and that's fine. But I'm not going to stop. Okay. So it's not going to be a focus very often, but I'm not going to stop either. And so just so you know, but it's not against you. But I don't feel like there's conflict. I don't think anybody's looking down on you. We just disagree. I do think the total short is over 200 million. Fidelity owes you 26,000 dividend shares. Yeah, they better pay up. That's right. Yeah, I'm always going to talk politics and religion. I'm not going to be afraid to. So, and I know that costs me some viewers, but it also gains me viewers. So I don't I don't care. I'm going to be me. But I'm always going to be respectful, Gretchen. So that's the one thing I can promise you. I'll always be respectful, and I'll always honor you as a person. So anyways, guys, bless you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for showing up. And yeah, we'll talk soon. I'll probably be on tomorrow, Thursday, Friday as well. I think I'm going to be on a lot this week. So there's just a lot to talk about. So, and I took a nice long break this weekend. So God bless.